Let me record this. We have an absolute super stud as our guest speaker today, Chandler Fredericksen. Chandler Fredericksen, he's a top 10 agent. He's number 9 in the world so far. He's probably going to go up after the week he's having this week. But he was recruited by Tanner Frick, and they live in South Dakota, so right there in the Midwest. And Chandler is still in his first year. He's coming up on his 1-year anniversary here pretty soon. He's at 271,000 a premium already just for this year. Okay, that's awesome. 271,000 a premium, and we're only about 8.5 months into the year. So that's awesome. He rode over 21,000 in a day 2 days ago. He had his best day of his career on Tuesday, with riding over 21,000 in a day. That's awesome. He is definitely. I talked to Justin Ellingson last night because he's at the Growth Council here, and Justin said Chandler's a rising superstar here at Family Heritage. Rising. He doesn't say that about very many people. So, guys, get excited. We're going to hear from Chandler Fredericksen. Just make sure you guys got tons of notes ready, and he's going to tell us his story, what's helped him be successful, and a bunch of other nuggets. So, Chandler, I'll shift it over to you, good sir.
Thank you, Kyle. Well, first of all, I'd like to thank everyone, obviously, being on the call here this morning, taking the dedication to get on here. Don't have a whole lot to say, but we're going to go over some things that, why I came here, the reason why I left my other job to get here. But where did I come from? I was at Verizon for about 2 years. It was sales. The reason why I left there was because I didn't really see, I was kind of capped out on my potential. I knew I could do better, and I wanted to start my own business. I hated retail, and I was working 8 o'clock at night, working the weekends. And the weekends was time that I wanted to spend with my friends versus working. Everyone's like, hey, what are you doing this weekend? I'm working. So I was like, all right, I got to get out of that. So that's the reason, one of the main reasons that I decided to leave that industry there. And like I said, I hated the retail, but why I came here was because I seen the opportunity to grow something special that I could grow my own business, be an entrepreneur. And obviously the potential with that is, there's no ceilings with it. So there's been people here that have done some crazy things. Dylan Buck, everyone I'm sure has heard of him. But he started his career not only selling at a high level, but recruiting at a high level. So that's what's cool about this job is that, hey, you can sell at a high level, you can recruit at a level, your own pace. It's just kind of all up to you. And I thought that was really cool. But how I came here was actually a pretty crazy story. I was actually about to accept a job over at Northwestern Mutual. The day before I did accept that job, Tanner Frick, we were out and about having some drinks together and whatnot. And he was like, hey, man, what are you doing for work? Because he was obviously recruiting me. He was like, hey, what are you doing for work? What do you, where you see yourself in 5 years? And he told me about Family Heritage. And I'm like, to be honest, man, I don't even know what the heck that is. So I trusted him. I seen the success that he was having, and I just kind of took the bull by the horns and ran with it. So that's how I got recruited here. Another reason why I came here was the ability to make my own schedule. I think that is probably one of the biggest reasons that most people do come here is because you do get to make your own schedule. However, there's also a downside to that too, because if you're making your own schedule, but you're only working 20 hours a week, and you're not seeing the results that you want, there's a good chance that it is your schedule. And another thing with that, I learned, the more that you have your calendar filled up, the better chances you have, appointments, enrollments, all those kinds of things. We're not just wasting time in between businesses, and people are expecting you. Grant Cardone says, a blank calendar is the devil, and it's so true. Now, if you don't have anything set up for the week, you feel like you're just kind of going business to business, not having any momentum. And I think that's huge for me. Once I get some momentum underneath my feet, I just feel unstoppable. Like everyone's buying. Your attitude just shifts, and it's pretty cool. So Some of the things that this career has done for me, man, I could go on and on about this. I thought, $60,000 in a year was pretty cool. When I was working retail, I was 22 years old. I was still in college. I'm like, dude, and the dang, I'm doing pretty good. But the crazy part about this career is you can literally do that in a month, if you really wanted to. They got double cash bonus, triple cash bonus. It seems like, if you're doing all those things that they're telling you, getting 2 out of 3 days, doing things outside of work to get better, things just start rolling. Like you just start to get luckier and you don't even know why. But the reason why is because you're just getting so much better at the career. But the things that it has done for me, I was able to buy a brand new car within my first 3 months. I was able to put $15,000 down on it. A $65,000 vehicle. So that was pretty cool. Whereas, I thought, having a $20,000-$30,000 vehicle was awesome, but you get into that 50 to 60, they get a lot nicer. So I was able to get my dream car. And then the next thing after I did that, I was actually able to buy my own house. I don't even have, no one lives with me. It's just myself. I have a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. I was able to customize it, buy all my furniture, and not really have to worry about anything. So that was super cool for me, being 23 years old. That's a pretty cool milestone there. And then also another awesome thing that I was able to do was, when you're doing well in this career, you start looking at your bank account and you're like, holy crap, I don't think I've ever made this amount of money in a year, and you can make that in 3 months, 6 months, whatever. So you just start seeing the numbers come in and you're like, wow, this career is life changing. I was looking at my vision board the other day and literally everything that I had on that vision board, I pretty much have. So, and it isn't always about money or financial freedom, but it also has changed the person that I have become. I used to think, I guess, journaling, reading, spending time outside of work, working on work was weird. But now it's just something that I'm used to. That's just something that I have, included in my habits and stuff like that. So, and then another thing I guess is, like I said, I was able to dump a large sum of cash in investments. You start making, doing really good in this career, you just have extra cash laying around. And so I was able to move cash into an investment fund where, I'm going to let it just sit there because I don't really need it. So I think that was really cool for me, being 23 years old and investing at a young age. Some of the things that, Kyle had asked me to talk a little bit about the things that have made me successful here. Number one is always my morning routine. I get up at the same time. I do, I read, I journal, I read the Bible, also look at my sales talk. I listen to motivational podcasts. I mean, I could go on and on, but if you don't have a morning routine right now, there's something you're doing wrong. Kyle said he's up at his time over there is 5 o'clock. He gets up early. So early bird gets a worm. Just set a morning routine, whether that's if you're a person that gets up at 7, maybe move it back to 6:30 or 6 o'clock, and start doing, drink a cup of coffee, read a book, whatever it might be, listen to something that gets you going. Because if you're not starting out the day in the right mindset, you're going to fall flat on your face, and everyone else that you're going to talk to is going to see it. So just make sure that you're right in the right mental mindset. And then the next thing is that made me successful here is I've just become super obsessed with it. My first 3 months, I hated cold calling. I was like, dude, why am I doing this career? Like, it sucks. Like, but they always say, give me 3 months. I'll give you a job, give me a year and I'll give you a career. It's so true. The first 3 months does suck. Because you don't really know what you're doing. They say get to your first 100 demos, and it's the absolute framework. You get to your first 100 demos and you're just starting to become so much better. People can't really say no to you because you know all the objections before they're even going to say it, and you have something to say for it. So I would say if you're new, just embrace it, start learning, taking notes, following people, when you're following people, make sure you're recording them, taking notes on what they're doing, how you can shift what they've said and move it into your business, take little nuggets, because those are the things that can change your career, just a little one-liners or something like that. So, and then surround yourself with people that are super successful. When I started this career, I felt like I was kind of on my own. I didn't really know what I was doing. I was cold calling. I was having troubles getting out of my car, but I was always able to make sure that I was asking questions to my leaders like Tanner Frick, Lauren Lefebvre, all the people that are doing super well. Is like, hey, how, what can I do to get more sit downs? What can I do to, close on this person? What can I say to this objection? Those are all things that you need to be asking, because if you're not asking them, quite frankly, you're not going to get the answer. So just make sure you're asking questions, whether that's your, field director, market director, whatever, your regional, whatever that looks like for you. So yeah, I think those are the biggest things that helped me become successful here. My routine is probably the biggest one. The habits that I've created since I've started this job. And just things like that. I guess the technical part of my sales talk that I have, that I feel like have made me close a lot more, is my transition to close and my buying atmosphere, I guess. Getting the script down is one thing, and that's awesome. But I think for me now, it's more of, how can I change the tone of my voice? Just the super technical things of, where can I pause? Where can I ask this question? How can I keep their interest throughout the whole presentation and just get yes momentum throughout the whole thing? So I think that was one of the most technical things you guys will realize as you're doing presentations and demos. The more you're getting people to nod their head, the better chance you have of closing them. So that is really the major stuff that I guess I have for you guys. I don't have a whole lot, but I don't do anything special. I just do basic sales is advanced sales is basic sales. So just taking the things that when you get right out of sales school and just really honing in and trying to get 1% better every day. And then you're able to take that to the next level. So
Wow, that was awesome. I got so many good notes. Chandler, we got a few extra minutes. I'm gonna leave it open to the crowd for any questions or any comments for you. So guys, don't be shy. Ask any questions or comments from Chandler.
So Chandler, do you being 23, a lot of the folks I talk to around that age group seem very much like you. Obviously, you committed and doing very well. But let me ask you, what do you do on your days whenever you're like kicking yourself? You don't want to get out of the car. You don't want to walk into a store. How do you deal with that?
it sounds like not unmotivated, I guess you could say. Does that sound like it kind of like we were saying there, Greg?
Yeah, I mean, obviously you're motivated, but when you encounter those times where you just like, even with the best mindset, you go out, you get your teeth kicked in a couple times, you're sitting in the car, you're like, oh man, why did I come here? What did I do?
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? I mean, because we all go through that, and it's just coming out on the other side that matters, right?
Absolutely. One thing that we do in our agency is like, when you talk to people, it's one day can't break your week, but one day can make your week. That's the biggest thing for me is, I've had tough weeks. I've zeroed out before, but the next week after that, those are the weeks that I have my best weeks, when I get my teeth kicked in, kind of get rocked for a week. Just because you're like, hey dude, I gotta make a sale, I'm gonna do it. You start to shift your mindset, like, of, no, I don't suck, I just didn't run into the right people. Like I said, I've sat zero Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday I had I set up an enrollment where I literally eagled 13K in a day. So just know that it takes all week to have a great week. So I guess that would be, I don't know if that's the answer to your question, Greg, but just understanding that, you're going to have days where it does suck, but you can't let the suck outweigh the good stuff that the good days, I guess, the great days. So
It's a great mindset. Thanks you.
I have a question. So this is Brandy. We have a lot of younger agents your age. My daughter's on this call. She's 18 and most parts she's doing pretty well in the business. What would be your advice to the younger agents on how to just overcome? Sometimes people don't want to take you seriously because you are younger. I know it's how you present yourself. What would be some of your best advice to the younger agents that we have on here on how to just really take this job by the horns and really rock it out?
Yeah, great question. I guess, Brandy, are you a field director? So are you training this person?
Yeah, I am, and I'll be hitting market director this quarter actually too. Yep, but
Cool.
my
Nice.
daughter's 18. I've trained her. We have some agents your age on this call that are 23. So just, I would have never thought about doing this at 23. I would have been scared to death.
Yeah.
So them doing it and me seeing younger agents, it's amazing. So just like your best advice for them on how to really just embrace what they have in front of them.
Yeah. So I guess to answer your question is, you got to make sure that they do have a solid routine that they're doing every single day because they're not used to it. When you're 23 years old, you're used to just clocking in, clocking out, getting paid on a daily basis. Where this career it doesn't work like that. If you're not showing up to work on time and you're not finishing at the same time every day, you're not going to see any results. So just make sure that they know, you do have to set a set straight schedule, and you're not taking unplanned time off. When you're young, it's easy to do, say, hey, I want to go hang out with my buddies, right? And I'm sure, you guys have seen that too, is people take unplanned time off when they are young. So just setting a, very, very straightforward schedule. Like, hey, I have to work, 9 to 5, no questions asked. It's non-negotiable. And then another thing with that, I guess, Brandy, would be, I do a lot of things outside of work that it still is work. Like like I was telling you, my morning routine is I do review my sales talk, but after work, I also started doing, listening to the Elevators podcast, other, sales programs and stuff like that, where I could find, little pieces of, gold nuggets, I guess, that I could take from my career and just implement it that way too. So.
Thank you.
And you'll notice too, Brandy, people that do really well in this career, you don't really see what they do outside of the field hours. They get paid for what they do outside of field hours, and that's that technical training that you have to do if you want to take it to the next level. So.
Guys, if you're thinking a question, go ahead and take advantage of him being on here with us and ask it.
This is gold. Holy smokes. So, hey Chandler, real quick, what is your, just when you first started here, like what did your schedule look like your first 3 months, and what does it usually look like about now? Like what is like the day in the life, like about a week, look like when you first started in your first 90 days compared to now when you've been here about a year? How's that transitioned over the last year, different phases?
Yeah. So with that, Kyle, your first 3 months, like I said, you're 9 to 5, there's no questions asked. That's when you're in the field, right? Now, I still am in the field 9 to 5, but it's more of, I'm doing a lot of reservicing with my clients that I work with already, catching them, just showing them what they have, showing them the new stuff, what they're paying. Because if you're not going back and seeing your people, there's a 90% chance that they're going to cancel on you because they don't even know what they're paying for. So if they don't know what they're paying for, why the heck are they, why do they even have the coverage, And, a lot of times now when I am going to reservice, it seems like almost every other person that I run into, they need something from me. They have to file a claim or they don't know how to do it. And us being agents, and the reason why we're different from other supplemental insurance companies is because of our ratings. That's how we take care of our people. So just make sure, if you've been here a while, just go back to your people because they do want to see you. If they're going to, if you're going in there with the mindset that they're going to cancel, they were going to cancel before you were even coming to see them anyways. So just shift the mindset of you're being service minded and you're there to help them. Because if you don't see it, they don't see their agents, they don't know what they have, they're going to cancel. So at the end of the day, it didn't do you any good.
Are you getting any last questions for Chandler before we wrap up today's call? Guys, we will see Chandler. He will definitely be in PV, Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. So can't wait to hang out with him there. And I do also want to appreciate Gareth Green for getting Chandler to commit to being our guest speaker. I know that they're buddies from FHLA 101. So thank you so much, Gareth, for having Chandler on today's call. Chandler, thank you so much, man. I'm going to do a quick recap, guys. This is just some of the notes that I have from today. So he has a great background. He was working at Verizon before this, working in retail. He came here because Tanner Frick met him at a bar. It sounds like they're getting drinks together. I don't know if they were friends prior, but he had that conversation. Hey, you're not going to be working at Northwestern Mutual, my friend, but you got a better opportunity. So that was really cool. You're about to be working at Northwestern Mutual like one day before that. That is awesome. Awesome story. But what's helped him be really successful is the harder you work, the luckier you get. He just said, the people that do really well, like they don't work 20 hours a week, and a lot of the things, just like being an athlete, like you don't see what they're doing outside the work hours. So having a very solid morning routine. This gentleman is 23 years old, waking up early, reading books, just investing in himself, podcasts, elevators podcasts, reading a sales conversation, making sure he's just mentally focused. That way, whenever he's in the field, he has the armor. He's going to stay disciplined throughout his day because he goes ahead and invests in himself before the day starts, and he has the right mindset. That is just awesome. He's already invested in things, and he's literally 23 years old. He just got a $65,000 vehicle. He's bought a new home. Holy smokes! He's doing big things. He has his own investment account, and he's just getting started. This is exciting. He reads, he journals. Lots of podcasts, just really focusing on his habits. Number 2 thing that I wrote down is he becomes obsessed with the process. Give yourself 3 months and we'll give you a job. You work here for a year and we'll give you a career. That is awesome. You work here 3 months, you'll have a great job. You work here for a year and you have a great career. Really focus on, if you're in your first 100 demos, you're just getting better, getting 1% better each day, and embracing it, embracing the suck, and knowing that the rewards will outweigh the suck over time. That was awesome. And just taking little nuggets, being super engaged. And then also number 3 is surrounding yourself with people who are super successful and just great communication with your leadership team, whether it's your field director, market, or regional director. Just making sure that you know how to overcome objections and investing in yourself in the off hours. He crushes his buying atmosphere, his transition and close, really focusing, getting them on the yes train before he goes into the application. And advanced sales is basic sales, keeping it super simple and is really honing into your sales conversation, just getting 1% better each and every single day. That was awesome. Guys, let's give a good warm applause for Mr. Chandler Fredericksen today. Woo! Let's go.
Woo!
Thanks, Chandler, so much, man.
Thanks for having me, Cal.
Yeah, man, for sure. Hey, good luck the rest of the quarter, man. We'll see you in Mexico here in a couple months, buddy. All right, guys. So today's Thursday. So we got a 2-day work week. It is Thirsty Thursday. So, just like what Chandler said, one day doesn't break your week. One day can definitely make your week. So if you're ahead of your goals, that's awesome. Like if you're ahead of where your VPF was for the week, go ahead and just get laser focus on adjusting your goal a little bit higher and running through that finish line. If you're right on track with your goals, if you're about even exactly where you think that you should have been before the week started, get excited because the 2 best days of the week are right now. Thursday, Friday are always the 2 best. Statistically looking at our canvassing charts, those are the 2 highest closing percentage days of any other days is on Thursday and Friday by far every single week. And if we're behind your goal for the week, that's okay too. Just know that the 2 best days are right now. So make sure there's like Chandler said, working the minimum 9 to 5, you're in the field, no questions asked. You're shaking people's hands, you're being a blessing for them, and people want to see you, right? So the clients that you're protecting today, guys, you're able to go back and shake their hand 3 or 4 months from now, and they may need something from you, okay? Or they're going to give you more referrals. So making sure you're always implementing reservicing in your game. If you've been here for 3 months or longer, every single week you should be going to at least 2 clients on a weekly basis that has already signed up with you. It could be from your first day. It could be from your first week, but making sure that if you've been here longer than 90 days, or you've written over 50,000 of premium since you've been here, you got at least 2 people you go back to each week and shaking hands. These are people that have already bought from you. Like, they already like and trust you. So making sure that you're implementing that into your systems as well. This is resurfacing game, phase 2, phase 3 of the career for sure. So let's go out there and be a blessing for Mr. and Mrs. Jones today, guys. Let's use the notes that Chandler spoke on today. He crushed that call, and we'll see you guys tomorrow morning at 8 a.m.